Facebook. This is Sandy with Trending Designs by Sandy, and I'm an independent Chalk Couture designer. And we are going to be doing some inking projects tonight for my farmer's market tomorrow. I need a new t-shirt first. So that's the first project we're going to do, is a t-shirt. It's called Life is Tough, My Darling, But So Are You. And that will be the first one. And then depending on time, we're going to do some other little onesies and bibs, little items that can be done pretty quick for the event for tomorrow. If you haven't been here before and you have questions, just drop them in the comments and I will answer them as we go. And I'll be talking about the products as I'm using them. I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see my project. So I'm going to be using just a simple black t-shirt for the first one. And I think I'm going to be using Marvelous ink on this black t-shirt. It's a new color. It just came out last month and I've not even got to use it yet. I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to move my t-shirt out of the way. I'm going to grab a squeegee here. Scrape all this excess ink into the jar so we don't waste it. A little bit of this product goes a long, long way. Put this over. Drop that in my trash can. I'm going to grab a baby wipe to wipe off my fingers so I don't have any ink on it, so I don't get anything on my shirt. Tonight I brought a trash can with me. Give me just a second here to get all set up. So I have an ink mat here. I have my t-shirt. I'm just going to take this price tag off. I bought these on clearance last year for $1. I'm just simply going to stick my ink mat in the shirt. It helps keep my project nice and straight. Without wrinkles on the t-shirt. Makes it much easier to ink on when there's no wrinkles. And then I'm just going to pull the cover of my ink mat out. Hi Marlene. Welcome. I'm just getting started. I'm going to be first inking on a t-shirt tonight. I wanted a new t-shirt to wear to my event tomorrow. I try to wear different t-shirts that I've done out there. And I've been doing an event all summer long. It's a farmer's market. So the transfer we're doing tonight is Life is Tough, My Darling, But So Are You. In just a second here. Actually, let's see. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. I think my shirt is nice and flat. Let's see if you can see my whole project here. I never know which way I'm supposed to tip the camera, further back or further forward for you to see. And so this is a brand new transfer. If I was using it on anything other than fabric, I would need to fuzz it really well. But since I'm using it on fabric, I don't need to fuzz before I start. And I'm just going to write back on the back side of it so I know what side is the correct side to put the transfer back on. And then we're just going to kind of eyeball it. Try and get it straight. And right now I'm just trying to make sure that there's no open spaces, no air bubbles, no air pockets. We might actually use two colors. We might use Current Jam and Marvelous. I'm going to move this camera just a bit. And then on the outside edge, I think we're going to do it in the darker color. And when using ink, you want to start on the turquoise part of the transfer and just kind of either wipe up or wipe down. And you only want to do it once. You don't want to go over it over and over. I'm going to grab a smaller tool here. If you're just joining, tell me where you're from. Hi, Barbara. Welcome. We are going to be inking a t-shirt to start. And it says, "Life is tough, my darling, but so are you." Which is fitting after this week. This week has been kind of rough at my day job. I don't know if the heat's getting to people. People have just been kind of grumpy all week. So I'm just going around the edges with ink called Current Jam. And I'm not sure if it's going to show up on this black. We're going to have to wait and see. The beauty of doing a live. We really don't know how it's going to turn out. Welcome, Sherry. How's everybody doing tonight? Right now I'm just using my multi-purpose tool. It allows me to have a little bit more control than one of the larger squeegees. And I'm starting off using Current Jam. And I really like this color, especially at Christmas time. It's one of those deep burgundy colors. And it just looks so nice at Christmas. I'm thankful today that it is Friday. I do not have to go back to work until Monday. Tomorrow I'm at a farmer's market that I've been doing all summer long, and it ends next month, and then we will kick off all of the craft shows for the season. I'm already booked for a half a dozen of them, and I'm just touching up some spots that look like the ink didn't go all the way through. And I'm scraping off my excess, scraping it back into my jar so that we're not wasting any. Now I'm going to take this Marvelous. We're going to do the center of it. And try not to get it into the Current Jam, which may be a little bit difficult. Again, the beauty of doing it live. Now normally I would be working on the turquoise part and dragging down, but I don't really have any space on the turquoise part since I did the frame. So I'm just going to need to be really, really careful at the edges here. We might have to add something. If I make any mistakes, might have to add some little hearts or little stars. The beauty of it. Being a crafter, we know that sometimes mistakes happen and we have to improvise. Welcome, Tanya. Am I pronouncing that right? This is the shirt that I'm planning on wearing tomorrow to my event. Again, I like to try and have a new shirt that I've done at my events to show that how versatile and how quick items can be done. I'm just trying to make sure I cover my entire screen here. I'm trying not to drag the other color into the Marvelous color. The Marvelous is a new color. It launched last month. This is the first time I've gotten to use it. So I'm kind of excited to see how it looks on the black. I'm going to add a little bit more up here. The black seems to be drinking it in. Tanya with an A. Okay. So hard to tell how people pronounce their names. Well, welcome. And we got just a little bit more left here. Drag down, scraping off the excess. And we're going to try and get in this little bit here. Hi, Sue. Generally, it's just one, but with black, sometimes the black soaks in pretty good. And so I'm just kind of making sure that the places where it looks like it's lighter, that I've gone over it pretty good. And I'm dragging some of this current jam in, which I don't think is going to be too much of a problem. And then I just want to make sure that any excess that's on my transfer, that I'm kind of scraping off. And then scraping back into my jar. And then I have a little water bath up at the top. Let's take a look and see how this turned out. You never know on the live. Wow. It looks very, very shimmery. The mauve does. Let me turn it around. And I'm not sure if you guys can see the shimmer in the color or not. And let's wait for Facebook to catch up. So it looks like I got a little into my current jam over here on the side. Not a big deal, because I can easily either put the transfer back over the top of it and fix it, or I can add a couple of little hearts, especially with this transfer. Hearts would be fine to put on here. Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Yep, this is the one I'm going to wear tomorrow. Now, to finish this off, it needs to be heat set. I have one of those Cricut heat presses, and so it will take 30 seconds at about 300 degrees on the front, and I'll turn it inside out and do 30 seconds on the inside of it, and then it will be ready to wear and wash and dry as normal, and it won't go anywhere. I'm not going to heat set it. I'm just going to stick it to the side. I'm going to pull my mat out from underneath here without messing up my design, hopefully. And then literally we're just going to pull this ink mat out, and I'm going to turn this around so that I can see what I'm doing. And that took just a couple of minutes on a t-shirt that I picked up for $1 on clearance last year. Stick that to the side, spread this out, and then I'm just going to stick it over here to the side until I heat set it. And again, heat setting is really quick with those heat presses. If you don't have a heat press, it works 4 minutes with a regular iron on both the outside and the inside, and you simply just use a piece of parchment paper over the design and in between, so in between your design and the iron itself. Put that in my little water bath. Grab my little baby wipe here. Welcome Barbara, welcome Teresa, hi Gail. I hope everyone's having a nice Friday evening. I am thankful it's Friday and I do not have to go to my day job tomorrow. Hope everybody has had a good week. And I think next we are going to work on some little onesies. So I am doing a farmer's market. I've been doing a farmer's market the month of June, all of July, August, until the September 21st. And so I'm just doing up some new projects for tomorrow. This one is going to be on a little onesie, and it says, "Your first breath took hours away." I think this is a retired transfer, and I've used it a number of times, but I'm going to make up some new ones so that I have new items tomorrow. I try to each week have something new, and all I'm going to do is stick my ink mat into the onesie so that I'm working on a flat surface. Make sure all my little wrinkles are out, and then I'm just going to pull the cover off of my ink mat. And my ink mat is sticky, so when the onesie adheres to it, it keeps all of the wrinkles out, so that I'm working on a flat surface. And again, because I'm working with fabric, I don't have to fuzz my transfer prior to placing it on my items. But normally, if I were putting this on a chalkboard or glass, I'd need to make sure my transfer was fuzzed really well. And it can be fuzzed on just a regular towel. I use my little Chalk Couture mats that I bought. And then I'm just making sure I don't have any little pockets of air as I'm adhering, so that the ink does not seep under and go where I don't want it to go. And so I think the first one we're going to do, because I'm going to do a few of these in some different blues. And then I'm going to do a couple in some pinks. I've got a handful of onesies here, so like 4 of them. All right, seems to be nice and attached. And the nice thing about these is they are sticky, and they're silkscreen transfers. So you can see through them, and they're reusable. So long as you wash them and make sure that the screen is clear of any chalk or ink, you can reuse them and reuse them and reuse them. The company says 8 to 10 times. I have a number of transfers that I have used more than 24 times, and they still are sticky. I have one that I've probably used 3 dozen times. It's just starting to lose some of its stickiness. Then, like I said, I have a little water bath up here. I'm going to pull out my little multi-tool here and wipe it off with the baby wipe. The baby wipes come in really handy. Now, we don't wash the transfers with the baby wipes. Personally, I just wash mine in water, and I use what they call a board eraser. It's like a, what do you call those magic erasers? That's how I clean my transfers. If the stickiness starts to go away, you can use a Clorox wipe on the back of it, and that brings some of the stickiness back so that you can continue to use it. Okay, so the first one I think we're going to do in a baby blue color. And the ink is really smooth. It really doesn't need any stirring up. It's kind of the consistency of sour cream. Yeah, sour cream, which is a good consistency for it. And then I'm just going to start above the lettering, above the silk screen, and drag it down. Drag it down. Scrape off my excess. Drag it down. With the white t-shirt or little onesie here, it won't absorb the ink like the black t-shirt did, where it just kind of sucks it in. Get a little bit more. A little bit more. Drag it up. Make sure I got all of the spots, and then I'm just going to scrape this excess off, scrape it back into my jar. Missed a little spot there. Go down one more time, scrape. Put that in my little water bath. Grab another baby wipe. The one thing you want to make sure when you're using the ink is that you're wiping your fingers before you try to pull up on the transfer, because ink is not as forgiving as the chalk is, where the chalk, if you make a mistake, you can go back and wipe it off. With the ink, you cannot do that in most cases. In some cases you can, but in most cases you can't. And we'll pull this up, and oh my goodness, how long did that take? 3 minutes? And how cute are these for a baby shower? And I got some on my t-shirt. Let's see here. See if I can get this off. Like I said, the ink is not as forgiving as the chalk. So this is how it turned out. Your first breath took hours away. Cute little onesie for a baby shower. And you could add some other little things to it. Some little hearts. I don't know about a butterfly for the little boy, but some little hearts to it would be cute. So that was one. And then again, heat setting with, when you're using a Cricut heat press, it literally takes 30 seconds. Put a piece of parchment paper, put the heat press on, 30 seconds, flip it inside out, 30 seconds again, and it's done. And you can wash and dry, it doesn't come off. Or if you just have a regular iron, same thing, you put the parchment paper down, It takes 4 minutes to go over it on the outside and on the inside. And then your project is done. Throw it in the washing machine. You're set. I am not going to be heat setting any of these on the live. I'm just going to pull out my ink mat. I'm going to stick this to the side. And then after the live, I will be heat setting all the projects. But that turned out really cute. I'll just snap these back in. I'm just going to stick it to the side. Grab my little cover for my mat. It goes in much easier when the cover is over the mat. We're just going to slide this into the t-shirt or little onesie. In my mat, I just cut this down so that it would fit tiny little people. Hi Arlene, welcome. We are just making some items for my event tomorrow. Some little last minute items so that I have some new stuff. I've been doing an event all summer long. Just making sure that my little t-shirt doesn't have any little wrinkles on it. I'm going to stick this to the side for a second, and I'm going to wash that transfer that we just used. I'm going to show you how quick and easy that is. So I'm just taking a regular paper towel. While it's wet, I'm going to stick the sticky side down and just wipe. I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to dry the back. And yes, it really is that easy to clean it off. And because that was a light color, it didn't take any extra scrubbing. It is ready to use again. It's nice and sticky. I'm just going to stick that up there, fold this over. That is how quick and easy the cleaning process is. And we're going to use peony on this pink or on this white onesie, little girl one. And we're just going to eyeball it. And then I just want to make sure that it is adhered to my t-shirt and that I don't have any air bubbles in it. Once these are heat set, they are completely washable. They will not wash away. I have a couple of t-shirts that I did when the ink first came out, I believe in March. I think it launched in February, but I think I got my first set in March of last year, 2018. So we're just going to start above the silk screen, drag our ink down, just like we did on the blue one. I'm just dragging it up. And when you're not working with the black fabrics, the ink soaks in, but it's not excessively soaked. And all I'm doing is scraping off the excess, putting it back in my jar so we have very little waste. Make sure all of my surface is covered. Throw that in my little water bath over there and grab my baby wipe to clean my fingers. This time I will make sure before or after I take the transfer off that I don't have any ink from the transfer. And we are just gonna pull this up, stick it in our water bath again. And another onesie in what, 2 minutes? So 2 onesies in 4 minutes, not bad. And there's what the pink looks like. Last minute baby shower, quick and easy. Just waiting for the camera to catch up so that I can see if I've moved it in the right direction. Nope. So let's move it back up here. Any questions so far? Nope. Your first breath took hours away. So I'm just going to lift the onesie off of my mat. Kind of fold it in on itself. Pull it back out. And again, I will heat set afterwards. Heat setting is pretty quick and easy, painless. And I'm just sticking these to the side. But I will heat set them off camera. I want to see how many items we can get done in about an hour. And we're at 37 minutes and we've done 3. T-shirt, 2 onesies, and I think, let's see here, I have some bibs here that I wanted to try. And I haven't done these before. They're a light little terry cloth. They have a little Velcro around the neck. And I think we're going to do Spit Happens. So I pulled these out earlier. I'm just going to take my ink mat here. Make sure I don't have any wrinkles. Spit happens. Isn't that the truth? I don't know about you guys, but my babies were spit up little fools. Everything I owned was stained with spit up marks. So I think we're going to use the darker blue on this one. I never have as many boy items at my events. People ask me about it. So today I'm making stuff for boys as well, so that I have a nice variety tomorrow. All right, let's see here. Take us some nice pretty blue. This is called Midnight Sky. I'm just gonna go start up. And this one is a thinner ink. The darker ones seem to be thinner than the lighter ones. I think it has to do with the pigmentation. I'm just gonna literally go down and we'll go back over it. very carefully because this is not as smooth of a fabric as what the t-shirt and the onesies were. A little bit more. And we're just going to go down, scrape off the excess, put it back in the jar. Go down, scrape it back into the jar. We want very little waste. These are 3-ounce jars of ink. They last a very, very long time. Pull this up. So this is a terry cloth fabric. So it has little hairs on it. Or fibers, not hairs. Let's see if I can get this. And I went off of my transfer when I was doing this. So we're going to see if we can clean it up a little bit. Like I said, ink is not as forgiving, and I don't think I'll be able to clean this, but give me just a second. And I'm going to grab a Clorox wipe here real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, my Clorox wipes seem to have got up and left the building. So on this we will take something and we will put it over the top of it so that you won't even be able to see. We'll do a little doodad. And if not, it's really not a huge deal. I will just toss it in my goof piles. This is how it turned out. Spit happens. So we'll stick this to the side. I'm going to grab one more and try this again. So I'm just adhering it to my mat. I'm going to stick the mat aside. I'm going to grab my paper towels again real quick. I'll pull my transfers out of my water bath. That one there. This is a little bit darker pigmentation than the light blue. Put this face down. Grab me a dry paper towel. And we are just going to dry off the top, flip it over, dry our back, make sure nothing is in our screen. Stick that one to the side. We'll dry this one off. Dry off the back, the sticky side. So when you put these in water, it actually dissolves the stickiness until it's dry. And then when it dries, they're sticky again. So it's like sticking to my my hand. We'll just stick those sticky side up. We'll put this paper towel to the side again. And we're going to use the pink. And I'm literally just going to use the same transfer. Spit happens. Make sure I don't have any air bubbles, no air pockets. And these are not as smooth as the onesies or the t-shirt. Get some ink on here. And we're going to apply again. Apply. And apply. My hand is sticking to my mat. And I bought these online. If I had been in the store, I may not have bought them just because they are terry cloth, not as smooth. And not that you can't use them. They're just not as easy to work with when it's not a smooth surface. And I'm just scraping off the excess and placing it back in my jar. So we have very little waste. Putting the squeegee in my water bath. And we're just going to pull this up. And pull this up. Grab my little wipe. Put my mat to the side for a moment. And voila. I have a cute little pink bib. Spit happens. How cute. And these have taken just a couple of minutes to do. It's probably more time consuming washing and applying and making sure I have no air bubbles than it is actually inking on the fabric. I'm going to stick this one to the side. And so last year the little trick-or-treat bags were a huge hit here in my area. I posted them on Facebook Marketplace, and as quickly as I posted them, they sold out. And we are going to do Boo to You. Grab my little mat here. I don't think that one will work. So this is the other piece of my little one that I cut for my onesies. And this is my bigger one. And I am just going to place it inside so that I have a smooth surface to work on. And this is just a cover that goes over so that when you try to put it inside something, it doesn't hang up because of the stickiness. We're just going to make sure we have no air pockets. So in the time that I've been on, I've made 2 onesies, 2 bibs, and a t-shirt. And now we are going to do a bag real quick. Brand new transfer. Again, if we weren't using fabric and we were using something shiny, hard surface, we'd want to make sure we fuzz this really well before we put it on. And you can fuzz it on your t-shirt, you can fuzz it on a terry cloth towel, you can use it on our fuzzing cloths. I just want to kind of center this. And then I just want to make sure that I don't have any air pockets. And I forgot to write on the back of this, so I'm going to write real quick. Back. I just want to know what side is the correct side to put it on. It does not go on the dull side, it goes on the super shiny side. And I'm just sticking that to the side. And again, the black kind of absorbs the ink pretty good. Actually, I think this is a brand new one. So this is a brand new ink. I think I still have, I do. This one still has lots in it. So, let's see here. I'm just going to get us a nice big glob since this is a much bigger surface. I'm just going to start at the top, drag it down, and we're just going to scrape off the excess. And we're going to drag it over the ghost. Over the boo, or actually the ooh. And we just scraped off the excess, putting it back in the jar. Trying to do this in one big swoop. Okay, just checking, making sure that I got it in all the right places. Scraping it back into the jar, putting the squeegee in the water bath, grabbing another clean baby wipe. Lid back on. And the big reveal. Grabbing a dry paper towel here real quick. Wow. Super, super cute. And I have lots of little transfers that I can put around this. I can add some little spiders to it. Let's see if I have them right here on the table. I am not in my craft room. My internet does not like my craft room, so I have to go to my dining room table. Let's see here. So I have like this little one. It says boo as well. Let's see here. That I could add several little ghosts around. I'm just trying to get the whole. So yeah, I could add a few more ghosts around here. I could add some spiders and do them in our shimmer silver. Let's see, where's that one? The shimmer silver looks really nice on the black. And that's generally what I do my spiders in when I'm doing it on a black surface. I made a amazing t-shirt last year with our haunted house, bunch of mummies. It turned out really nice. I absolutely love that t-shirt. I've worn it once and I can't wait to start wearing it again. Is it fall yet? Because I am tired of this heat. So we'll stick that to the side. Did that turn out cute? So we've done one t-shirt, 2 onesies, 2 bibs, and a trick-or-treat bag, and I have been on for 55 minutes. And we have made all of these items using Chalk Couture products. Does anyone have any questions? I'm just pulling my ink mat back out of the bag, and again, I'll be heat setting all these items this evening. Heat setting takes, if you have a Cricut heat press, it takes 30 seconds with a piece of parchment paper over the top of your project, inside and out. If you're using a regular iron, it takes 4 minutes to heat set, inside and out. Sometimes maybe a few minutes longer depending on what part of the country you live in. If you live in a humid part of the country, it can take a couple of minutes longer to heat set. I live in a dry climate typically, and so the 30-second rule on each side and 4 minutes with an iron is how it works for me and most of the other designers. But I have heard some of the designers say that in real humid areas it can take a couple of minutes longer. And I think I'm going to add a couple more little ghosts to this, and I think I can do them fairly quickly. Open up our white again. Grab me another squeegee. You can never have enough squeegees. I have a whole pile over here. And I'm just going to swipe down, scrape off the excess. And because I'm using ink, it doesn't dry as fast, and so I can literally pull this up. I can apply it again over here in this corner. Add my ink. Scrape off the excess. Pull it up. Actually, I got a little bit of ink on my thumb there. Let's make sure I get it off. Pull that up. And we'll add another one down here at the bottom. The projects can be endless with so many options. You could easily make everything one of a kind, which is typically what I try to do. Not make 2 projects the same. That kind of lifted up. I want to make sure I get it back on the little spot where I got the ink when it fell out of my hand. And so we're just going to cover this. Scrape all this excess back into the jar. Throw it into the water bath. Grab my baby wipe. Wipe my fingers off. I can hear my wind chimes blowing. The wind is blowing. I think we have a storm coming in. don't think we'll get much rain. It didn't feel a little muggy outside. But I think we might get a few sprinkles. And then we're just going to pull this up, put it in the water bath. And how cute. You could personalize it with kids' names. There's plenty of room. A little piece of fuzz. But didn't that just turn out darling? Let's see if I can get it all into the camera view. And I think this will be it for the night. Anybody have any questions? So we made all these projects in an hour. A t-shirt, 2 onesies, 2 bibs, and a little trick-or-treat bag. And it took us an hour. I just think this is just the greatest. With our cute little ghosts. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. Happy Friday. I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. I may jump on here tomorrow after my event, depending on how exhausted I am. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop them here in the live, on the replay. Feel free to message me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can. All right, everyone. Good night.